home yogis, find a comfortable seat and drop into your breath. Start to tune into the rhythm of your breath. Close your eyes and drop your mind gently into your heart. We're working with dragons today. And amongst other things, dragon power is so much about purification of the ego, recognizing power plays and the part that we have in the power plays in our lives, the conflicts in our lives, the disagreements, the difficulties. Seeing our ego in that so that we can purify through it, so that we can drop, or rather rise ourselves out of our solar plexus area and bring ourselves back to the heart. And as we purify through the ego, we make room so divinity and divine will can run through us. So as we begin sitting here, we drop the mind into the heart. And if you know it, you can draw the dragon power symbol now. Reminding yourself that you're strong enough to be in your heart. You're strong enough to see the ego. You're strong enough to see our sticking points. And just take a moment now to tap into the highest intention for your practice today, or for yourself today. Breathe that intention in, and as you exhale, drop it into your heart space. And let's come forward now into child's pose. And from here, just feel your lower back. Breathe into your lower back now. And recognize that your lower back is behind your solar plexus, behind your power center. And recognize that if the power center is drained, we often have lower back issues. So just take a few moments now just to feel into your lower back and hips as you breathe. Bring space to this area. Bring attention to this area. This area of the solar plexus is, where our will comes from. This area of the power center. So we can look today to see if we are strong enough to command our will to stay within the practice. To powerfully stay alert to the practice, to the breath, to the areas of the body that we're working with, and the sensations that arise there. focus our will on what it is that we are doing right now. So from here, let's take the hands over to the left. So you're side stretching now in child's pose. As your hands go over to the left, drop a little through the right hip. And you feel a big stretch on the right side here that you can breathe into now. Can you will yourself to stay with your breath? If the mind starts to wander, to pull the mind back to the breath. And just see if you can drop a little deeper into the sensations in this pose. And when you're ready, inhale here. Exhale, come back to center. And take that same stretch over to the right side now, or the other way to wherever you went before. Inhale here. And when you're ready, exhale, come back to center. Lovely. And then come onto your hands and knees. And start to roll your shoulders. As you inhale, the shoulders come up towards the ears, and as you exhale, shoulders roll away from the ears. And you're just using your hands against the floor to feel this roll a little more succinctly. And then change the direction of your shoulder rolls. Breathing into that space around your heart. Opening up that space around your heart. Noticing the breath and seeing if you can initiate a movement that is created by breath. Just recognize that the first and last thing is breath, and that the breath is the seat of your power. As you follow your breath with movement now. And you can play with the direction of the shoulder rolls. You can go whichever way you like. But just notice the connection of your shoulders now to your lower back. When we're stressed, the shoulders tend to rise up towards the ears. And we pull the shoulders forward to protect the heart And all of this can impact not only the upper back, but the lower back too. This kind of stress can pull the lower back and pull the lower back tight. Lovely. Now come into cat-cow. Still initiating the movement with breath. And notice the relationship of your heart opening and your power center as well. Moving forwards and back. Really notice your breath as the first and the last thing. The breath is the first fire in the body, and the heat of the breath creates relaxation. So as soon as we consciously begin to breathe, it's like we're sitting in front of a fire. And this heat creates relaxation. And relaxation creates balance. And balance creates power. Now grab your block and pop that block between your thighs. And bringing the block as high up into your thighs as you can. You might need to bring your legs together to hold the block. Now keep going with that cat-cow and feel how having the block there adds a little bit of stability to the whole thing. Our legs give stability to the back and to our power center. And it's important to know what it is we stand for. So it's important to be strong in the legs. And through your body now and through this pose, you can really feel the wisdom of that, I hope. Have an experience of that, the stability that comes from that strength in the legs. And you can ask yourself the question, in this moment, what do I stand for? Great. Now shift your hands forward of your shoulders. Keep the block where it is and push yourself up and back to downward facing dog. And you're just holding that block there, keeping that stability and lifting through your center. And feel that stability through the core area of your body as you grip hold of that block, and through your breath, the first and last fire. What is it that you stand for? What is your intention for this practice? How do you use your will? And can you focus your will into what it is that you are doing right now? No one else, just you. Now walk your hands back towards your feet, keeping the block where it is if possible. And now come into a forward fold, just holding your elbows. And if you need to bend your knees, then do so. This protects the lower back. And just breathe here, drop into breath, the first and last fire. And ask yourself, how do I use my will? Do I will or use my will in a pure way? Do I use my will politically to try to persuade others to fit my criteria? Or do I use my will to focus upon myself and work upon myself? So from here, you guys, you can take the block out from between your thighs and place it on the floor behind you. And this block is going to become your seat. And we're going to take the legs apart. You might want to bring your heels in and your toes slightly out and come into Malasana, or a squat position, sitting on your block. Can you stay focused on you? On breath, on sensation in the body? And can you pull your thoughts back to breath, the first and last fire, and the fire of sensation? Now, walk your fingers forward as you sit back into the block. And breathe and feel. And allow yourself to become absorbed in the experience of yourself. Really let yourself feel. Recognize that the ability to feel has a strengthening impact on the body. It's powerful. It allows us to really be here now and prevents us from running away and avoiding and suppressing. So let yourself feel here. Recognize that feeling is powerful. The ability to feel is a superpower, really. As you walk your hands now over to the left, breathing into sensation, going deeper into sensation. And now stay with that sensation as you transition over to the right. Coming back to center when you're ready. Beautiful. Then just walk your hands back, stand back up so you're back into that forward fold. But this time let's interlace the hands, bring them behind you. And just letting your shoulders get an extra stretch here. If that doesn't feel good for your shoulders, you can just hold your elbows. Folding forward. And whether your knees are bent or straight, allow your legs to be strong so that your body can relax out of the strong foundations of your legs. Feel the heat of your breath, the heat of the pose, the heat of sensation. Inhale here. Exhale, release your hands, and then slowly bring yourself back down to the mat to sit down. Sitting on the mat with your knees in towards your chest. So when we work on ourselves, when we bring our energy back to ourselves, and we purify, we don't justify, we come into a place of empowerment. Now lie back, you guys, and take your knees in towards your chest. And grab your strap and take happy baby with a strap. And as you do this, notice if your tailbone is coming away from the floor and see if you can anchor down through your tailbone. And lying here in happy baby, we can just take a look at how we use our power and how sometimes we might be childish with our power. We might kind of throw the dummy out of the pushchair. looking at when there is a power play, when we are in conflict or in ego or difficulty with another person, can we hold ourselves and be strong enough to feel what is happening and stay in the heart so that we can respond like a mature and powerful adult? Do we find ourselves saying, it's not me, it's them? It's not me, it's them? Are we pointing the finger outside to avoid dealing with ourselves? Are we more focused on blaming the other as opposed to evolving ourselves? Just recognize this in this moment. You know that when we do that, it's a form of self-abandonment. We're more interested in the other person, and weirdly in the things that we might not like about the other person than we are in ourselves and our own process and where we're at and how we feel. So lying in happy baby is the perfect opportunity to parent the child that we sometimes are within power plays. To see this child that we all can be, and to take the time to explore a new way. Because that is powerful. Okay, let's bring the left foot to the floor and extend the right leg towards the ceiling, still using the strap for support. Now ask yourself, where can I release tension in my leg? Could I call this tension ego? Or could this tension be created by ego? As I release this tension, am I purifying my ego? And what is the ego anyway? Is it when I say I am better or superior to them? Most people think an egoic person is very puffed up in this way. But by the same token, ego can also be expressed when we say, I am worse than them, I'm not as good as, I'm not enough. Or I'm not worthy. A desire to put ourselves under another, as well as over another, could be perceived as an egoic desire. And both of these tendencies, I am superior or I am inferior, are distortions of the I am. Because if you really are, you just are. And there is no need for any quantifying of the self. Inhale here, you guys. And as you exhale, you're going to take that right leg over to the right. It doesn't have to come all the way to the floor. Just come to a comfortable stretch. And make sure that you are making a shape that is sustainable for you to hold for a few minutes. And then allow yourself to drop in. Feel the breath, the first and last fire, and feel the fire of the sensation. Allow yourself to be strong enough to feel what is happening now. And ask yourself, what is being revealed to me within the light of my practice? You might also ask yourself, what is being burned away? What is being burned away within the fire of this pose? Inhale here. And as you exhale, draw the leg back to center. Now bring your right ankle just above the knee on the left thigh. And your left foot is to the floor. And you feel your legs in that pigeon shape. Keep that position, but come to a twist. So the right sole of your foot comes down towards the floor as your legs maintain the shape as best you can. You know, I've been thinking about the ego writing this practice, and I asked myself the question, is the ego the observations about the I am? Or is the ego my attachments to these observations? When I'm attached to the observations about the I am, the attachments over time can degrade and distort my experience and perception, because I'm seeing myself through that lens of attachment. And I come to the conclusion that to observe the I am is normal. But to attach to these observations is not always healthy and often leaves me feeling powerless. My attachment to these observations can often take me into inferiority or superiority. The attachments to these observations seem to take me to my ego. And again, I think, if I am, then surely I just am. So if I am in my I am presence, the purity of that without ego, then surely I just am. If you are, you are. So let's inhale here, and as you exhale, gently come back out of that twist. And keep that right ankle on the thigh, and just come into sleeping pigeon here. So you can leave the foot down, the left foot down, or you can pick it up and just bring your hands around your thigh, your shin. Breathing and feeling. And in this position, I can ask myself, are the tightnesses I might feel a result of my ego? Are they tensions that I have created around myself? Are these sensations of tension the result of my attachments? Could they be old arguments or old power plays that have gotten stuck inside of my body? And does that even really matter? Because I am. I guess during a practice of yoga or, the dance of life, the question when we encounter our tensions and difficulties is not what are they, but can I stay with them and let myself feel them? However difficult, can I build a tolerance in this moment? Can I build a patience in this moment? And can I build acceptance in this moment of all that I feel, all that I am? Inhale here. Exhale, cross your right thigh completely over your left leg when you're ready. And then we're going to splay the ankles out to the sides as best you can. So we're coming into Gomukhasana, legs, cow-faced legs. So the knees are together and the ankles go wide. And the breath is deep. And we allow ourselves to feel all that we can feel in this moment, knowing that this builds strength and power. And just add a little more breath. And ask yourself, can you stay with this fully and completely? Can you soften your mind to this so that you can feel all there is to feel? And can I build tolerance as I stay within the heat of the pose? And the challenge can be to stay within the heat of the ego. Without judging ourselves for that. And the challenge can be to stay within the heat of my imbalances without judging myself for them. The challenge can be to stay within the heat of discomfort. This builds tolerance. Staying in the heat builds tolerance. And tolerance builds strength, understanding, and wisdom. So we stay in this heat, understanding that it is not meant to be comfortable. It is a purification. But as we purify in this way, we make space for the ego to be tamed by the divine will. We tame the ego, and it is not comfortable, but it is not comfortable to work with dragons. This is not meant to be comfortable. Inhale here, you guys. Exhale, unravel your legs. Now bring your toes up and your fingers up towards the ceiling and just shake out your hands and your feet. We'll use some movement now just to shake out some of that heat. Cool down a little. And when you're ready, bring your arms into a nice wide T shape. Bringing your knees up, your toes together, and just letting your knees fall to the left for a twist. And let's inhale here. Exhale, come back to center, and then just drop the knees to the other side. And you can alternate between the two sides. Be intuitive and sensitive to your body as you move. And remember that we are working with this area of the body, the solar plexus, the power center. This whole practice is designed to help the lower back, release the lower back that gets so impacted when we are contracted in the power center and feel under attack. Over defensive, superior, inferior, all of that stuff. So just move side to side here, just rolling and rocking out the hips as you go. And then when you're ready, let your knees fall to the left and just stay there for a moment. Coming back to that first fire of the breath. And just relax here. Inhale here when you're ready. Exhale, come back to center. Inhale in the center line of your body, then exhale, drop your knees to the right. Just relaxing here now. bring yourself back to center when you're ready. Lovely. And now bring your legs to a bridge position. And grab a block and place the block between your thighs. And with the block between your thighs, just start to do some pelvic tilts. So as you exhale, you push the lower back into the ground and feel your tailbone lift slightly. And as you inhale, roll down through your spine, the tailbone moves towards the ground as you create a little tunnel through your lower back. And let the movement be initiated by the first fire of the breath. So we exhale, push the lower back into the ground, engage the belly a little bit, and as you inhale, tailbone moves towards the ground and you feel a little stretch through your tummy as you open up a little tunnel underneath your lower back. Again, we're using the block to stabilize the power center. Understanding that an unstable power center is like a crazy baby, a naughty child that can create a lot of chaos for ourselves, our lives, and the people around us. An unstable power center creates chaos for everyone and everything. So do your pelvic tilts and just rock the baby. Calm the baby down. Little baby dragon. And keeping your block between your thighs now, just come back to center. Bring your arms over the head. And slowly push through your feet, your legs and your hips until you come up to bridge position with the block between your thighs. And let yourself stabilize here with the assistance of the block. So press the legs into the block and feel yourself become more stable. And feel the awareness of that new stability. But remind yourself that in the process of learning, we need instability. We need instability to understand stability. We need disempowerment to understand empowerment. We need ego magnification to understand ego purification. And we need a little bit of chaos to encourage a little bit of order. Okay, when you're ready, just remove the block and slowly bring your hips down to the mat. Just unravel through your spine, keeping your legs in the position that they're at. Now keeping that shape with the legs, let the legs fall to the left for a twist. And then bring them back to center and over to the right for a twist. And you'll create like a windscreen wiper action here, rolling onto the outside edges of your feet and the inside edges of your feet as you go. You know, every day there's so many opportunities to learn. And as humans, we have so many imperfections. We make so many mistakes. But when we see this, we can celebrate because it's an opportunity to learn and to purify through them. Every day there's so many minor hiccups that bring so much potential for us to evolve and overcome and achieve through. And this is the journey of self-mastery, the journey of empowerment through disempowerment, learning through our mistakes. And the reality is, you guys, that there's not many people willing to make this journey. Most of us don't want to go there. It's too hard. It's too uncomfortable. Too painful. It takes a level of responsibility, a level of maturity. But if you're here and you've got your windscreen wiper legs going on, it must mean that you are prepared to drive through that storm. And that is very brave and very beautiful. And ultimately very powerful. Brilliant. So let's come back to Happy Baby when you're ready. And again, using the strap around your feet, just hold Happy Baby here. And you know, this journey that we take through the self is a process of perfection. We are purifying, then perfecting, then purifying, then perfecting. It's a continuous cycle, really. There's this process of understanding and checking our own will and our own ego, understanding and checking our own thoughts, our own intent, our own intentions, and understanding and allowing our own feelings. And this process helps us to consistently purify through the heat of our spiritual practice. Coming back again and again, day after day, to the self, purifying, burning away, learning, moving through the things that we recognize are unhelpful, or distorted or egoic. Moving through all of those difficult things, purifying them, working with them, tolerating them, looking at them, being uncomfortable with them until we start to have an understanding of what that all is and a compassion for ourselves, and we come back to the divine child that we are, that we all are, every single one of us. And lying in happy baby, just feel that yourself as that pure child. And this purity is your power. This is a place of absolute potential. Let's bring the right foot to the floor now. And release your strap. Bring the strap around your left leg and extend that leg up towards the ceiling. And support yourself with the strap. You know, if we don't feel supported or we are supporting others too much, our power center can burn out and burn ourselves. We can burn ourselves really. You know, and this burnout can manifest physically as dumping the weight into the lower back. We can dump our exhaustion, our depletion into our lower back, and our posture suffers. It's like you can really tell when somebody's had enough. You can see it in their body. So use this posture now and allow your lower back to release any burnout, any heat. You know, if there are feelings of burnout within you, allow those feelings to arise so that you can recognize that you are doing too much. Too much for others, so that you can recognize that you need to do more for yourself. Your power center is powerful enough to burn you if you abuse it. If you use your power in an irresponsible way. Inhale here, you guys. And as you exhale, let your leg fall to the left side. Just open up your hips. And you can prop the leg if you need to. It doesn't need to come all the way down to the ground. Just take a nice deep stretch here. And just allow yourself to feel into the sensations in your body. The sensations in your body are a perfect indicator of truth. When everything outside feels confusing and everything outside feels difficult to navigate, if we come back to the body will tell us the truth. The body is a barometer and for how we are and what we feel. It reflects how other things are. The truth of the world, the truth of ourselves, is reflected through the body. And the body has its own intelligence. It is constantly trying to communicate with us. But we forget how to feel the body, and we forget how to listen. And instead of listening to the self, we listen to the news, or we listen to our friends. We ask and search for answers everywhere else, whilst forgetting the answers are inside of us. But when we remember that our answers are inside of us, we understand how powerful we are. And we can initiate a beautiful self-blossoming confidence and clarity. Just a feeling of sufficiency. It's beautiful. So inhale here, you guys. Let's exhale, come back to center. And keeping your left ankle up, let's bring the left ankle to the right thigh. So we're in the shape of a sleeping pigeon, but we're going to take this into a twist. So we're going to bring the sole of the left foot to the floor. And the legs keep the shape. And this twisting pose takes us on a little journey through our core and into the hips. It is through the core of ourselves that we often connect to the world. But our core is really about connecting to self. It's a practice for your center, to be centered. And let's be clear about this. When we can hold our center, we can hold our power. When we can hold our center, we can hold our power. And how do we feel powerful inside? We breathe. And that breath, like a warm fire, helps us to relax. And that relaxation takes us into balance. And that balance brings us into strength, understanding, and love. And this is power. It's never about being the best, because you already are. No one could be you more powerfully than you are, because you are. And this practice today is not about expending energy, rather it is about restoring energy. Understanding energy, so that when we need to, we can pull our power up, so that we can hold our own power and our own center when we need to. And this is why we keep looking at ourselves. We keep checking the ego. We keep checking our intent. And we use these practices to remind ourselves to purify and never to justify. Purify, don't justify. And we use these kinds of practices to drop into our spiritual heart that is the purest form of personal power. Inhale here, you guys. As you exhale, let's cross the left thigh over the right. And bring yourself back into that Gomukhasana position, cow-faced, legs. Taking your ankles wide and your knees together. And you can put some flexion in your feet just to protect your knees if you like. Let's breathe here. Drop into your breath and drop the breath into the sensation of the pose. You guys, just be gentle with yourself. A wise person once said to me, Julie, yoga never should hurt anyone, and yoga never hurts anyone. It's the ego that causes the injuries. Yeah, it's very wise. So just allow yourself to be here within the difficulty, within the breath. And just recognize the line that you cross when you push too hard, and also when you don't do enough. It's like finding that middle road. This practice asks us to look at our intention. This practice asks us to look at our will and how we use it. We look at the force of our will. Sometimes you see people practicing and they pull their body too far and they hurt their body. And all I can say is that they must have an imbalanced will. They want it too much. Wanting to keep up, wanting to be as good as. It's all just the power play of the ego. So, my friends, use your will wisely. This practice asks us to look at the truth and how the body tells us the truth. There is truth inside each of us that we can access through the body. And the body can force us to look at our ego and how that blocks us from the heart. You know, in this practice also asks us to look at energy efficiency. Like, how do we use our energy? Where do we put our energy? Can we use this practice to restore our energy levels? You know, maybe we have expended our energy too much and we are depleted. This practice asks us to look at what is inside, and especially today, this practice asks us to bring our attention to our lower back. You know, the low back, this area that can bear the brunt of imbalances around power. Okay, you guys, let's unravel your legs, sweet relief, and just let your toes hover above you, and straighten out your legs and flex and point your toes now. And now roll your ankles in circles, going clockwise and anti-clockwise. And now bend your knees, lift your hands a little bit and shake out your hands and feet. And just shaking out the heat of those postures in whatever way feels right for you today. Okay, you guys, now keep your feet up in the air and bring your feet together. Your soles of your feet together, your knees are wide, so it's like a Baddha Konasana, happy baby version, and we're just going to gently bring the toes in towards the forehead. They won't touch the forehead probably, but just in that general direction. Now inhale here and exhale, release that. Beautiful. Let's bring the soles of the feet to the mat now. Grab the block again. Bring the block between your thighs and come back to those pelvic tilts. So as you exhale, you're pushing the lower back into the ground. You feel the belly engage a little bit. And as you inhale, tailbone moves towards the mat and you create a little hollow through your lower back. Just moving between these two states. And this is a small and mighty movement. It's one of my personal favorites for lower back care. Just a few pelvic tilts. Beautiful. When you're ready, just reach your arms above your head, keeping that block in between your thighs. Just gently roll your hips up towards the sky for bridge, second time. Stay in the breath. Add more breath, the first fire. And allow that block to create stability in the body. Breathe and feel. And respond to yourself. Take responsibility. Take your power back. Respond to your truth. Beautiful. Inhale here, you guys. Lift your hips a little higher and just grab the block from underneath your hip. Grab the block from in between your thighs and place the block underneath your sacrum, which is that big triangular bone at the base of your spine. So be sure as not to put the block into your lower back. You want it to rest just above the buttocks, and then come into a supported bridge. Allow the block to fully receive the weight of your hips. And let yourself relax here. Breathing and feeling. Noticing all there is to notice without any attachment, without any preference. And as you feel yourself supported by this block, you can assure yourself that that is okay. It is okay for you to support yourself. It is okay to give your energy back to you. So a big part of Dragon Power is pulling your power up and knowing that it is okay to say no if others are taking too much. It is okay to empower yourself. And it's true, empowered people lift other people up. With empowered people, there's not really much need for power plays. They've kind of gone beyond that. But disempowered people use other people for a leg up. They need the other person for that power play. Empowered people are rooted in their I am presence. So they're so centered, they're so connected, they're so present. They're self-sufficient. And if you meet someone who's empowered, they don't quantify, they don't compare. They don't need to, because they're comfortable in their own power. In a way, a disempowered person takes from others because they need that quantifying aspect. The ego needs to either be superior or inferior. So there is a play with another in this, a separation from the other. So in order for the ego to play those games, they need the power play and they need the other person to participate with them in that. And this takes energy from other people. And empowered people don't really need that power play, so they're able to give energy to others freely and unconditionally while staying completely self-resourced. So in a nutshell, empowered people are able to lift people up, whereas disempowered people pull energy out of other people. And they don't always know that they're doing that, but that is what happens energetically. So I just repeat now, it is okay. In fact, it is good. It is healthy to be empowered. Okay, you guys, when you're ready, inhale here, lift your hips, move the block out of the way, and as you exhale, gently unravel and unroll your spine down to the ground. And you can come straight on into Shavasana here, or you can take a supine twist, just bring your knees to one side and then to the other, or happy baby if you like. Once you find your Shavasana, just let your body spread and relax just relax your mind for a second. Drop your mind into your heart. Feel your heart inside your body and drop your entire body into the earth. Just drop your chin ever so slightly and then just pull your chin back a little bit. Just to find some length through the back of the neck, top of the scalp. And then attune to your breath. Feel your breath, the first and last thing. Feel your breath as your power. Breathing in power. Breathing out power. I'm just going to work with this mantra today. The mantra is, today I own my personal power. Today I own my personal power. And you can say it with me in your head or out loud. Today I own my personal power. Bring your awareness to the cool air that is entering in through your nostrils. Cool power. The cool power of breath entering in through the nostrils. The inhaling and exhaling. And start to bring that breath now through the nostrils up to the third eye center. Breath moves through the nostrils to the third eye center on the inhale, and the exhale is just spacious, just easy, letting go. As the breath comes up into the third eye, let's repeat that mantra again in the third eye. So imagine that mantra moving up with the breath into third eye center. Today, I own my personal power. Each time you reach your third eye, repeat that mantra. Today, I own my personal power. As you exhale, release any doubt. As you inhale to third eye, today I own my personal power. With each inhalation, just pulling that energy up, that power up. Your personal power. Think about your third eye center. A spacious center. Imagine that through this center you can access the entire cosmos, the entire universe. As you bring this mantra up into your third eye center, today I own my personal power. Imagine the entire universe is listening, which it is. Feel the entire universe unite in your third eye to support this mantra. Today, I own my personal power. Inhaling through the nostril, cool power, cool air into third eye center, connecting with the universe. Today, I own my personal power. On your next exhalation, drop that mantra down into your seat, into your roots. Infuse your roots now with personal power. And let's take a few cycles of breath, experiencing the cool air coming in through the nostrils, the mantra meeting and uniting with the universe in the third eye, and with the exhalation, all of that anchoring into your root. Today, I own my personal power. Beautiful. And on your next exhalation, feel from that root, you're feeling the energy move down to the root, but also down out of the nostrils like fire. Feel yourself empowered through the magic of the dragon. Pulling that power in and up to third eye, making a contract with the universe, and then as you exhale, personal power anchoring in through the root and entering out of the nostrils like fire. Your personal power anchored down and entering out creates a powerful presence around yourself, a powerful presence of energy. The energy of your personal power. Let's release all of that and just sit for a moment in this powerful presence of you. You sitting in your power. And now drop your attention deep into the earth, into the deep, deep earth. And feel the dragons underneath you. Feel the rumble of the dragons. Feel the dragon lines, these powerful ley lines of light underneath you. And start to draw this power up into yourself, into your field. Pull this energy up now, this direct experience of this dragon energy. Bring that into your already powerful field. Resource yourself. Sit with the dragons. Sit with the dragons in your power. Feel that dragon power resource you. Know that your presence is felt. As you exhale, let that dragon energy now starts to dissipate. Give gratitude to that energy. And gently now open your eyes. Feeling yourself empowered and ready for your day. Namaste.